Today on Thunderbear 4-wheel drive, we're gonna do a brake inspection and check these brakes out and make sure that they're working good. Because my dad always used to say, wool before go and go before show. So stick around. Okay, so here we are on the front, and you can see that here is the back of the shoe, and there should be a whole lot of friction material between this and the rotor, and there is virtually no friction material between the back of the pad and the rotor. You can also see the pistons on the caliper are all pushed out pretty far, both sides. So this is a 4-piston caliper, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. They make smaller pistons, they put them on both sides so that they apply equally. It's supposed to be a better brake design. It's certainly more complex. A lot of people will upgrade from a single piston caliper, which would be on this side, to a 4-piston caliper. Toyota just does it from the factory. So we've learned one thing already. Front brakes are shot. You never do one side alone. So we'll be doing the entire front and then back here in the back. So wheel cylinder is not leaking. I don't see any fluid coming out of it. There's plenty of material on the shoe still. The brake parts are shiny. That's kind of a good sign. That means they've been replaced somewhat recently, or they don't have a lot of road miles on them. The brake nails and retainers look good. All your adjustment bars and brackets look good. We're gonna check the other side, make sure it's looking as good as this. I don't think we'll need to do anything with the rears, but we are certainly doing the fronts. So let's get over to the other side. All right, so we're here on the passenger rear, and it looks like it's in really good shape too. Wheel cylinders are still intact. I don't see any leaking. There's plenty of brake shoe left on or friction material left on the shoe. All the nails and the rest of the hardware look good. So other than an adjustment on these brakes, which when we were taking stuff apart, they came apart a little too easy. So we'll probably add a few clicks into it to kind of bring the pedal up. But the back brakes, we'll button this back up so the rears are okay. And we're gonna go to the passenger front. All right, so you can see here on the outboard brake pad that the backing of the pad is right there, and that there is hardly any friction material left on it as well. There's more than there is on the driver's side, but clearly these are worn out. So the pistons are pushed out on all 4. So totally justified in doing front brakes. That's kind of a no-brainer. So we'll get a parts list together so that Keith can get what he needs, and we'll go from there. So we're gonna put the backs together for now and kind of move on. So all right, so we've determined what the brake situation is. We need to do front brakes. We're gonna leave the back brakes alone. Keith needs to order parts for the brakes. So now we're on to a cap and rotor and wires. If you remember from the first video we did, when we pulled the plugs were in excellent condition, so we're not touching the plugs, but we do want to make sure that everything up here is replaced, and so here we go. All right, so we're moving on to pulling off the cap and rotor, and what I'm going to have Keith do now is I'm going to have him mark all of these wires so that we know what's what. So it looks like the rotor itself is marked with all the numbers. So we're going to write all the numbers down on these boots because we're going to take them off and we need to know where they go back for the wire that's in the loom, and I just don't really want to fight with it. So that's what we're doing right now. All right, so we got all the wires off. It's now time for the cap.
Yeah, this one is definitely...
Check the new cap and see if it's got screws in it.
It does.
It does. So I don't know if you can, you should see it. All right, so on the far side, you can see where the contacts are, where the rotor goes past. And you can see all this white dust inside there. That's carbon tracking from the electrolysis that occurs from the dissimilar metal in the rotor to the metal in the contacts, or the contacts in the cap. So what happens is it builds up over time and gets flashed around the inside. It'll cause misfires if you get that powder, and you can actually see little lightning strikes or little grooves across the inside sometimes. It looks like someone took this rotor off and scuffed up the contacts in there. And they're not contacts, it doesn't touch. The rotor goes past it and there's an air gap so that it doesn't actually come in contact with it. But someone was in here and scuffed these up. That's not the best way to go about that because it just creates more surface grooves and stuff in the inside of the cap for that stuff to collect, and it's just a bad deal. So out goes this. All right, and so here's our rotor. You can see right here in the center where the coil comes into contact, you're starting to get like a little bit of a powder burn that goes out from there. That's part of the material that'll fly off and also cause that carbon tracking around the inside. And looks like they touched up the end of this because that's shiny, but you can see where there was some scale around the top side of it at one point. So I'll let Keith work on Keith's rig. All right, so new cap and rotor on. There you go. You can rotate them like that and keep doing that as much as you need to get them seated all the way.
Yep. Plus, I was thinking if I rotate it this way, it's less in the way of.
Well, you got to also remember that you're going to have to put all this stuff back in here. Okay. So when you do that, these wires I think might actually need to be rotated up all the way this way. Now it's seated. You really want to make sure that these are on there good.
Yeah, I need to. If you don't mind checking my.
These are all good.
My job on the engine side, so that one's
okay.
Because some of them, it's like getting them off was difficult.
That was tight. That felt good. There we go. That one wasn't on.
Yeah, that's
that one is now.
Check.
Okay, so this one's 2, right?
Yeah.
And
so
then
this one right here.
This is 2 right here. That's 2. Okay, and this is 4.
This is number 6.
Yep, and it's already on.
It's in the right place. So number 5 is.
Well, you already got that side. Looks like it's done. So.
I know. I'm just verifying
okay.
stuff because now I'm like.
You a little gun shy?
Yeah. Well, this is kind of important stuff here. So this one should be on number 3, and it's not. See? This is why I doubt myself a lot. Because even though I wrote the stuff on here,
come up underneath that one.
I had a hard time reading it.
Yep.
I'm just verifying, just chasing cable. This is going back all the way to, where'd my page go? That's going to number 5.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, that even looks right. See how the curve? Okay, so I'm bringing you up and in like this, okay? That one's attached. That one's attached. So you have one left.
So I've got the
coil wire,
which is one of these.
Yep, it's this one right here. Yeah, let's get this air box back in. Getting this, because it flops around, getting that to get into here was a trick. Yep. So you need to kind of like get this and this at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it looks like you're getting it.
It's crazy how so much of these vehicles are all put together at one size. I mean, it's convenient for the people maintaining them. It's a good thing.
One eternity later.
So it's like, I don't know, a ways later. And so we're coming out here to get back on the 4Runner and do some work to it. And Keith's already in the garage, and I already got the 4Runner in the garage. So this is the follow-up to the video where we started to do a brake inspection and then we did some ignition stuff. Now we're going to swap the starter out so we don't have to listen to click, 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 because it's like really annoying. So Keith's going to be doing most of the work because I'm going to be lazy today, and I'm going to be tool boy, and I'm going to hand him stuff. But we'll try and record some of the stuff underneath and get what we can and kind of go from there and maybe turn this into a video, and then people can watch it and then they'll say that we're cool, and or not, but you know, whatever. So there we go. So because everything is content, we're gonna get some video here of Keith jacking this up. So I'm gonna show him the really cool place to do this.
Yeah, I'm like...
So see where your A-arm, lower A-arm connects into the subframe?
Yeah.
Do it right at the connection point. Come towards you though. Do it from the very front. Really, the thing you want to do is like go on a surface that you know has tons of structural rigidity and strength and all that good stuff. All right, so I'll go ahead and pause this and I'll go get you an air hose. Okay, so I see your main battery terminal connectors right there. So that'll be easy-ish to get to. You can probably go in right from here to undo that with a ratchet or end wrench. Is that the cable itself?
The bolt.
Oh.
It was so loose I didn't even have to... And the nut, actually. Pop that off. That's off. And then the others.
The other one's a clip, I believe. At least on the new starter it was. So that'll be an easy thing to undo once we get it loose.
Mount points are... What is it?
Do they come through the bell housing into the starter, or they go through the starter into the bell housing?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
Where's the new one at?
It's right over here in this box behind us.
So the top one will come from the rear and the bottom one will come from the front. It to me looks like it's going to come out through the fender. It doesn't look like it's going to go down. It probably looks like a bell housing bolt, but it goes into the starter. Yeah, on the top. All right, let me go play tool boy. So I see that top one pretty easy.
Okay.
Like my crosshairs are right on it. So I can put a wobbly socket on there for you. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we're gonna do a different trick. Come out from underneath there. I'm gonna get you a different style socket.
Your wobbly sockets?
Yep. You said it's a 14?
Yes.
Now you can be off center and go through the hole that you can go through on the side there. That wasn't very tight.
No, it wasn't. Like
I mean, like,
want to fall out.
Yeah.
Just like the other one.
Is that bolt screwed up? Oh, good thing that it took the threads out of the starter.
Yeah.
And not out of the bolt.
Okay. And then
So your bottom one is going to come in from the front. But I got, you know, long extensions and stuff. So as long as you can get an angle on it, we can run an extension into it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm guessing it's going to be the same size. So let me grab you a couple extensions and you can go in next to the motor mount. Buy a Toyota, they said. It'll be fun to work on it, they said.
That was...
And it's out. Look for your little wire. Get ready to unplug it.
A little wire.
Oh, the little wire that goes there. So it came unplugged. So find that clip, and then we'll put your little jumper wire over here on that so it's easier to plug back in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, the new starter has like a little pigtail thing on it so that you can get it in there and then pull that pigtail up and connect it. All right, so let's see both of your bolts. All right, so if you can see the one bolt here, let's get this right there. You can see all that stuff right there. That is aluminum from the starter itself that is stuck in the threads. So I'm going to take and we're going to wire wheel those out and save our bolt, and here's the other one, and we'll get it cleaned up and we'll go back together with everything. So we tried to wire wheel out the aluminum from the threads on this bolt and it just wasn't going to work. So we went ahead and we got out, I have a chaser set. It's not a tap and die set. It's not designed to cut threads. It's designed to clean threads and essentially kind of push them back or recondition them into good shape. And so Keith's just going down and making sure that we get all the crud out of it, and then we're gonna hit it with the wire wheel one last time and we'll be good to go. And this is the chaser set. So you got metric, national fine, national coarse, and then you got some thread files here. And then you also have some thread gauges in here for metric and for imperial, whatever. But we want to make sure the mating surface is clean. So
Right. Wow.
I got some paper towels there on my toolbox. Oh yeah, we're getting a pile of crud, as it were. Okay, so the short bolt was the top bolt. So I would say put your starter back in there and set the top bolt in first to get it holding itself up there, and then it'll be easier for you to get the bottom one in.
Let me grab this starter.
All right, so here's where the battery terminal connects on that big stud right in the center, and then this little wire off to the side is for the wire that goes down to engage the starter. It tells the starter to engage the solenoid. So that's what they look like when they're new and clean and shiny. And the new one comes with this little orange extension that makes it easier to hook up. So I just kind of wanted to point out that when you replace, you know, a factory or an existing part and you get a new part, manufacturers are doing cool stuff these days. So it's kind of neat.
Not like going that direction.
So you go that way. There you go. Oh, there he goes. Go ahead and push it all the way in. There you go.
I was feeling that I was pretty close. I thought I had this thread started.
There it goes.
Yeah, there we go. Pulling it onto the bolt.
Okay, does it look like, take your light and see how parallel to the everything it is?
Oh yeah,
Look good?
I think so. Want to
Okay.
verify?
Don't go any tighter. Let's put your bottom bolt in to make sure that it lines up and everything.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. So if you can just get it stuffed in the hole and then just start rolling it, you'll probably get it to start and go. How long did it take you guys to do that starter? About 4 hours. Why is the video only 10 minutes long? Well, we edited out some stuff.
I had to cut out a lot of cussing. All right, I got it on.
All right.
It just joined the nut.
Yeah, we're finding that. Did it hit the floor? Yeah, it hit the floor. You're good. You're good.
I know. I
Okay.
was just hoping I could feel that nut in there.
You can go back to the wrench. I have some replacement spades. We can re-terminate the end of the wire. I crimped all the things. God, that looks ugly.
It's all right.
We're going to shrink tube it in just a second. So let me get my heat gun. Yep. Let's let that sit for a few minutes because it is hot. We got the new connector on and we're attempting to mate the two connectors.
We have mating. We had successful mating. A baby 4Runner is going to happen here anytime.
So now we need to torque down the starter to the vehicle. Does it just need to be stiffened up?
It does need to be stiffer.
All right, so
It's way too.
let me go do something to it.
Put in the vise.
Don't give me that and that.
It'll still be flexible this way, and
Yep.
yeah, that makes sense. There we go.
Try again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Old mechanic tricks.
Old mechanic tricks. I mean, we're getting good pressure on it. Come on, click.
Here we go. Okay.
I'm calling that as good.
Years and years of experience there.
Yeah, so I'll try and explain what I did. I knew it was on there, and what I did was I used the upper control arm and the engine mount and the frame and all those things to kind of hold this in place.
So you could put pressure
So I could put pressure on it so that when I turned it, it didn't let it go in any further, but it didn't let it come out, and it didn't lift. Had to stay at that angle because it's a really, really steep angle.
And it's a really ridiculous angle to try to be turning things in there.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just change the starter tonight. It should be quick. Shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching. We got the starter in, and we've learned that the battery is not so awesome. So Keith's gonna save up some nickels and dimes and maybe lease an appendage to someone for a while so that he can pay for a new battery. And will be more of this rig after that. So thanks again for watching, and over here somewhere there's gonna be some videos for you to watch. Check those out, and we will catch you guys later. Hit it, Keith. Hit it again, Keith. Yay!